CNN is getting hammered. It's so bad over at CNN that the presenter has to fact check herself. First time in cable news history. Because of unforced errors, I wonder how they even have viewers at this point. The notable Abby Phillips, who considered herself the champion of facts, suddenly find out that she has to apologize. And Chuck Schumer is losing his mind, and in related news, AOC never has one. Let's get into it with CNN finding themselves in an embarrassing situation. This morning, after Abby Phillips has to fact check herself by spinning the bombing attack on New York City over the weekend, let's hear Abby Phillips overconfident that the ISIS-inspired attackers were actually targeting New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani rather than the protesters, which is a stupid claim in itself. But I beg to digress. But of course, Abby Phillips made that narrative. Even the people that the bomb were hurled at, even them, Abby Phillips defy, and having them reconsider if bombs were really thrown at them.
Two Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against New York's Mayor Zoran Mamdani, and the House Speaker Mike Johnson says nothing really to condemn those comments.
Miss Abby Phillips must be the best spin doctor in the news business. There was a terrorist attack that ISIS-inspired alleged terrorists threw bombs at protesters outside Gracie Mansion, and she managed to erase or take out the people who threw the bombs, erase them out of the story, and insert the new boogeyman, the Republicans. They were the one who were responsible. Then she made the Muslim mayor the victim. Actually, the bombs were hurled at people who were on the opposite side of Mayor Mamdani politically. But as we all know, that the internet is unforgiving, and internet users were quick to point out all her lies, so she has no choice but to fact check herself. And then it gets worse from there.
What I find ironic is, so supposedly some of these comments are as a result of the attempt against Mayor Mamdani in New York, who was raised Muslim, was he not? Himself? Yeah. So they're being anti-Muslim.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is CNN senior political analyst Ana Navarro saying that the people who threw the bombs were anti-Muslim. Can you believe that? They are actually Muslim. So they are Muslim and they're anti-Muslim. Does that make any sense? Senior political analyst from CNN. And you can hear that she's saying that it's an attempt on Mayor Mamdani live. But the bombs weren't hurled at Gracie Mansion. The bombs were hurled at protesters, the protesters in the crowd. Besides, Mayor Mamdani wasn't even in the residence. Furthermore, none of the CNN presenters mentioned that the protesters were anti-Muslim protesters. Therefore, that follows that the only way the protesters could have thrown the bombs, unless they were throwing it at themselves. So if they are anti-Muslim protesters, that means it goes without saying that the person who threw bombs at them must either be Muslim. as reported by news sources, that the alleged perpetrators acknowledge that they were inspired by ISIS and that they are indeed Muslim. And according to reports, that they admit that they were the ones who threw the bombs. But early in the morning, Abby Phillips tried to clean it up with a correction on X, saying, I want to correct something that I said last night. The bomb thrown in New York City over the weekend by ISIS-inspired attackers was thrown into a crowd of anti-Muslim protesters and not specifically targeted New York City Mayor Mamdani. That wording was inaccurate. That narrative. I apologize for the error, and I didn't catch it ahead of time. The final talking point of tonight is Chuck Schumer is teaming up with AOC and forming a committee, and we lost our minds. But the only problem is AOC never has a mind, but Chuck Schumer is losing his. Let's see how Chuck is losing his mind.
They ask every state for their voter rolls, and a Musk-inspired Doge voter ID using AI would be used to take tens of millions of people off the voting rolls, and they're not even told.
Did I hear Mr. Chuck Schumer correctly? I thought I heard he said billions of voters would be off the voters list and they won't be able to vote. Let's play it back again and hear if I hear it correctly.
Would be used to take tens of millions of people off the voting rolls, and they're not even told. They show up at the voting place on election day. They say, sorry, ma'am, sorry, sir, you're not on the rolls.
He did say tens of billions, not even 1 billion, but 10 of billions of people not on the roll. And sorry, sir, you can't vote. Where does the United States get tens of billions of people in this country? Not even China or India has 10 of billions. Mr. Schumer has lost his mind. He has officially joined AOC in the lost their minds community. There is not so many persons in the United States, and if there is tens of billions of people not on the register, on the voter register list, that means those people are not Americans. They are aliens and illegal aliens. No wonder why Mr. Chuck, you don't want to pass the Save the Act bill. That's all we have for today, folks. Do remember to like and subscribe and share this channel and share this video. And see you in the next one.